Have you been going through price wars? When it's time for you to sell, you keep on hearing, I can't afford it, it's too expensive, it's too high priced. Have you been going through price wars? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to win this war. I'm going to show you how you can project yourself better when you sell so that price will no longer be an issue when you're engaging prospects. My name is Iyore. I've trained over 25,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I'm featured on lots of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked on an organization where I was going to target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals. I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals to the organization in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup on an all-expense paid trip. I moved to another organization and I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. I'm CEO of UltraVantage, and our specialty is in Salesforce management. Now, this means I work with the CEOs, with the team leads, to help them optimize their results and get their sales teams to produce results faster and in record time. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go right into the content for today. Did I say we've trained 25,000? Right now, it's 26,000 salespeople. Right now. All right, let's go right in. First of all, I'm going to show you shortly how to determine if you're selling to the right prospects, right? This means probably showing you how to determine your financial capacity, and I'm going to get to that shortly. But first of all, let me walk you through why prospects say that your price is too expensive. Why do they say so? Why does it look like if only... Now, this is not the reality, but this is how it looks. It looks like if only it was cheaper, more people will buy. If only our price was less, we'll be able to close more. That's the way it looks. It looks that way because many times you keep on hearing, it's too expensive, I can't afford it, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. When you remember, prospecting a lot of times is a numbers game. If you cast your seed on the ground, and let's assume it needed to enter 2 or 3 holes for it to germinate, but you cast 50 seeds, at the end of the day, because there are only 2 or 3 holes in the ground, only 3 opportunities are there for you to get 3 crops. What am I trying to say? The issue is not the fact that many people are saying it's not expensive. The issue is that the people who can afford it are not as many as the people who cannot. But at the moment, you are coming across the people who keep saying, who are those that can't afford it. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your products. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the market. The issue is, how fast are you moving so you can get to those who can afford to buy your product or service? So the reason why the prospect says your price is too expensive is, number one, if you're not selling to the right person. I said I'm going to show you shortly how to know if you're selling to the right person. Number one, if you're not selling to the right person, no matter how much you try to sell to someone, if the person doesn't have the resources or is not the right person, you will keep on saying it's too expensive. Number two, now this is on your part. If the value isn't perceived to be greater than the price, sometimes they even have the money. They are the right people. I remember I was talking to a sales guy, one of our companies where we currently are on a retainer. And I remember I was on the phone with him. And I said, what's going on? How far with that deal you were trying to close? He said, sir, Iyore, I spoke to the man. I spoke to him. Because the guy had the resources. He said, I spoke to him. I said this, I said this, I said this, I said that, I said this. I already knew there was a problem. Because when he was saying, I said this, I said this, I said that, when you're getting feedback from a salesperson, when someone starts to say, I said this, I said this, I said that, you can tell that the person was talking too much. And when you're talking more than the prospects, it means that you are spending more time talking about the solution instead of spending more time talking about the problem. And to talk about the problem means that you have to listen. If he told me, I asked him about this, and this is what he said. I asked him about. So when you're getting feedback from a salesperson, the conversation should be, I asked him about, not I said. Because in selling is not talking. Selling is asking questions. Whoever is asking questions is in charge of the conversation and will determine the direction of the conversation, which will either be the close or it will be away from the close. The prospect, if the prospect is the one doing if the prospect is the one asking questions and you are talking, you will be moving the direction away from the close. But if you're the one asking questions and the prospect is talking, you'll be moving the conversation towards the close. Why? Because the aim of a question when selling is to bring focus and direction in a conversation. So if the value isn't perceived to be greater than the price, what is selling? Selling is proving that what I'm giving to you is greater in value than the money I'm telling you to pay. So once I see that the price is higher than the value, I will not pay. I will say I can't afford it just to let you leave my site. But once I see that the value is higher than the price, then I'm willing to take a step in. If I see that it's not even far higher, if I see that the price is not even far higher, but it's close, there's almost like equilibrium between value and price, then I have objections. And I start to say things like, okay, you know what, maybe can we check, okay, what about, you see, I'm trying to see what can I do so that I can have this balance I desire, which is value should be far higher than the price. Number 3, your price will always be expensive if the value communication is poor. If when you're trying to communicate value, you don't communicate it properly. Has someone sold to you before, but you felt like, or maybe not even sold to you like a product, maybe someone was trying to explain something to you, and the person tried to explain it, but you were not getting it. All of a sudden, someone else explained it to you, and you got it instantly. What's the difference? Communication skills, ability to pass across a message with great simplicity. The proof of understanding of your product or service is simplicity of communication. Can you communicate so simply that children can understand? That a child can understand it? And that's why repetition is important. The more you sell, the better you become at communicating value. The better you become at bringing value to its greatest simplicity for the prospect to understand. Now, how do you know if you're selling to the right person? Number 1, do they have a need? Is there a need? Because you see, if the prospect does not need it, the rule is do not sell it. If you realize that, wow, this prospect doesn't need it, you have another option before you say don't sell it. You can create a need. Create it. Let them see how it can be of benefit to them. If they may not need it now, but they could need it soon. It's not everything you need now. For example, insurance. Do you need insurance now? When we sell insurance to you, it's not because there's a need now. We sell insurance to you in anticipation that there will be a need. So you want to be sure that the person you're selling to has a need now or can see that there will be a need. And that's where you create images, possibly. Of course, you won't use questions to create those images, but as much as you can, even if, for example, maybe your skill sets, you're still growing in your sales, maybe you're new in sales, at least at this level, give them seeds of suggestions. Imagine what it would look like. Yesterday, I went to take some ice cream after church with my daughter, or my kids, my family. And I remember sitting at this ice cream place, and my daughter says, look at this skill. She says, Daddy, is it possible to go and watch a movie and not... Is it possible to go to the movie section and just not get the movie ticket, only buy popcorn? My wife now said, somebody here is sowing a seed so that you can go and buy popcorn for her. You see that? So she wanted to say, instead of her saying, Daddy, just imagine what it would look like if you could go and have popcorn. She used questions. And that's what I'm saying. The better you become at selling, the better you become at using questions to create that need in the mind of the prospect. Now, how do you know if you're selling to the right person? Number 2, financial capacity. Do they have financial capacity? What are the signs that someone has financial capacity? Is it because the person dresses well? No. Is it because of the person's car or watch? No. Is it because you saw the person on the papers? No. It's not enough. One thing cannot determine financial capacity. Because the word currency is used to describe money. Because currency means current, meaning that it flows. Money is supposed to flow. Money cannot just appear in one person's life and you say that's how you determine financial capacity. Someone can't have financial capacity and only dresses well. No other thing shows there's money. He has financial capacity but only has a house in the choicest part of town. No other thing shows his financial capacity. Money is supposed to flow. And it's supposed to flow in at least 3 areas. Because you see, 3 is a number of balance, right? You've heard about the Trinity, you've heard about spirit, soul, and body. It's a number of balance. It's supposed to flow in at least 3 areas. And what are the possible areas where money could flow? Is either the person has assets or business expansion plans, the person has friends, social circle, the person has probably a lot of staff that is paying salaries just to show or depict cash flow. The person has, yes, toys, maybe clothes, shoes, cars, toys. The person has a corporate rank, meaning he's a top executive in the organization. The person probably has a lifestyle of frequent travel or a certain lifestyle. So if you want to combine any of these things, at least 3 of them together, it must be present in an individual to be able to say there's financial capacity. And you do this just by listening. When you ask questions and you listen, you notice that you'll be able to track and determine all these things. I have more videos. If you're going to the channel, I have a lot of videos that will go deeper into all these things. So this video, I'm just focusing on price basically. Then number 3, how do you know if you're selling to the right person? The person has the power to decide. The person can decide if they're going ahead or not. So you must become a pro at qualifying and determining the financial capacity of the prospects, so that at the end of the conversation, you are sure that you're selling. In fact, at the beginning of the conversation, you know you're selling to the right person. Now, if the value is perceived, remember I said your price will always be expensive if 3 things are present. If you're not selling to the right person, I've addressed that. Now, if the value isn't perceived to be greater than the price, there's something else you need to do now. If the value is not perceived to be greater than the price, it means that you've made a mistake. You have not amplified the need before communicating the value. This means that when you spot a need or create a need, you must spend time talking about the need. Spend time talking about the need by looking at consequences. Oh, if we don't treat this need now, what will be the results? If we don't take advantage of this opportunity now, what could we be missing out on? You spend time building a case around that and creating a gap. A gap that your products can fill. If the gap is too small, the person will feel I can manage the pain. There's a way someone can be sick, and when the sickness becomes too big, it requires chemotherapy, it becomes cancerous. But sometimes problems are still small and they can be managed. I'm going to continue on this tomorrow. I'm sure you've learned some things from this video. Tomorrow we're going to look at some specific price objections and exactly what to say to handle them. And of course, I'm going to finish my thoughts on what we talked about today. So thanks so much for watching today's video. I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Please remember to like this video, share with others, and please subscribe. If you haven't watched this video, you can watch it here, and you can subscribe here as well. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.